Hi, welcome to episode number 6 of my vlog. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things this week. First of all, I've been involved in quite a nice project at part of Sheffield Hallam University, where I've had my body composition formally assessed with a 3D body scanner and a bod pod. So hopefully, I haven't got the results yet, but I'll get those results next week. So at the end of this training phase, I'll be able to give you quite a detailed breakdown of where my body composition changes have gone during the 8-week block. So that's alluded to there that I'm on currently towards the end of an 8-week block. So this is week 6, so we have 2 more weeks of this left. So one of the things I'm going to talk about in this week is how I'm starting to think about what that training block will look like for the next phase. One of the things I've been looking at as an aside, as a kind of a secondary observable metric of this training, is power. Now, power isn't something that I've spoken about before, and it isn't something that I'm looking at as a training objective. So the first objective was to increase relative strength and total strength and relative strength, and the second thing was to improve body composition. So I didn't have to squat as much weight. That's a relatively easy objective, and also in the process of knocking down a few kilos and body fat, I'll become healthier and better all round kind of individual for doing so. So power, the reason why I mention it today is because I've seen over the course of the last 6 weeks a positive adaptation as a consequence of increasing leg strength. Now, there is a strong correlation between increasing leg strength and increasing power. That's been evident for quite some time. But I haven't done any power training whatsoever, so there's no focus on that in the training at all. It's all focused on improving squat strength. And I've tested in a counter movement jump with arms by my side, so it's an arms fixed counter movement jump, looking at 3 jumps, and took a mean of my relative peak power. That's how much my peak power is relative to my body mass. And as you can see from the graph, there's a bit of an up and down trend, but the shift is quite clearly going on the upwards. That's great. So hopefully what will happen is, as I continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and hopefully, touch wood, body mass comes down, or certainly body composition improves, I'll continue to see a development and increase in peak power. One of the things I'd like to be able to do is go back into weightlifting, compete as a masters athlete again. Something I did a few years ago, and through time commitments and family life and more recently lockdown, I haven't done it. I haven't really done any weightlifting training. So as I get stronger, hopefully that will transfer quite well into becoming a better weightlifter, more competitive weightlifter. I'm not doing a lot of weightlifting training, so hopefully I'll be having bad technique with more strength, and that'll mean I'll lift more weight, but not particularly nicely, but we'll never know. But power is quite related to weightlifting movements, snatch and clean and jerk, so hopefully by improving my relative leg strength, I'll see a transfer to my weightlifting as well. So that's quite a nice bonus to have. So coming back into what's on the horizon for me and my direction of travel. I'm not really going to go into periodization a lot today, and that's not really kind of the purpose of the blog, is to get into the kind of nitty-gritty of periodization. Basically, what happens is, after a period of training, doing the same thing repeatedly, your body becomes adapted to that, and it's no longer a challenge. You've run out of the ability to extract new gains from that same training stimulus. So you need to find new ways of stimulating the body to create more adaptation. I'm not yet able to squat double body weight, so I need to keep on that process. The other thing to think about when we're looking at changes is this journey from being general to specific. So if that was a rugby league player, we try and make training as specific to rugby league as they possibly could. And in pre-season, we start off by doing things that don't look like rugby league at all. So for me, specificity means single body weight or higher than double body weight squat. That would be a specific training goal, doing heavy singles and back squat. General would be something like a leg press. That's the most general form of leg strength you can think about. So at the minute, I'm probably at the more general end, and as I get closer and closer and closer to next April, when my target squat would be, then I need to be more specific. And the way to think about that is, you start off with a full tube of toothpaste. When you have a full tube of toothpaste, no matter how lightly you squeeze it or where you squeeze it, you're going to get some toothpaste out. It's not hard work, it's easy. It's actually probably harder to keep the right amount and get too much. When you've got to the end of that tube of toothpaste, it gets really, really hard work. You have to roll the ends up and you have to really squeeze it hard, and it becomes really, really hard to get that last little bit out. So that's kind of the training journey for me. At the beginning, I had a full tube of toothpaste. No matter what I did, I was going to get better. And I've seen that. I have gotten better from 3 sets of 10, and only really one of that last set of 10 was hard work. As I get stronger and stronger and stronger and get closer and closer to my goals, that adaptation is going to be less and less easy to come by. I have to do more and more specific things, really focused on getting better at that specific squat. So that's when, towards the end of the phase, the last 4 weeks of training is going to be lots of heavy doubles, lots of heavy singles, really kind of hammering that specific adaptation. So training-wise, what does that look like? Well, I've just said towards the end, heavy doubles, heavy singles, that's where I'm going to get to. Now I'm at the general phase. I've done lots of back squats, and I think doing 3 sets of 10 and the Delon Watkins method has worked well, but it may not continue to work well past this 8-week period. So I need to change. I need to do something different to keep on getting better. But I don't necessarily need to do back squats to get better. I can do more general type of training. And that's where the weightlifting things comes into it. And I can think about how I might want to choose some activities that can relate to weightlifting and transfer to weightlifting and still fit in this general category. To give you a kind of a Call of Duty analogy, at the minute I'm in one of those missions where there's enemies everywhere. I can go with a machine gun, no matter where I fire a bullet, I'm probably going to hit something. No matter what kind of leg training I did, I'll probably get better. And then obviously, as I get closer and closer to the end, I become one of those sniper missions where you've got like 6 bullets, and if you hit one bad shot, you're not going to hit the target and the game's over. So you've got to hit 1 bullet, 1 shot, 1 kill to succeed. So I can have some flexibility in what I do. And does it matter? A bit, but it doesn't matter that much. I don't need to change a huge amount. I try to train to create a stimulus. I don't need to kind of throw everything out. And I said last time, actually, I think 3 sets of 10 using Delon Watkins, for me, at the minute, is working quite well. I quite like doing it. Having just that one heavy work set at the end of each set, it's worked, you've got progress, and I don't feel like I'm grinding through the entire session. We're doing 3 sets of 10 would do. I can get into those heavy grinding sessions much, much later on in the training program. So I'm probably going to look at a front squat. It has the same basic movement pattern. It's a squatting pattern. We have a subtle change in the fact that we're going from a back loaded to a front loaded. And it's going to change the core slightly differently. So you're going to get the loads at the front rather than the back. And it's probably going to be quite good for my squat depth as well. And I'm hoping will definitely transfer into my clean ability. So that's probably going to be the biggest change coming through. And I'll probably change the assistance exercise as well. So from behind the neck press into a front press, from a good morning to an RDL. So effectively the program will be very, very similar, just slightly tweaked each exercise for something relatively similar, but just that subtle change. So keeping a relatively similar stimulus, but just nudging it a little bit so my body keeps on adapting. So that's kind of my direction of travel, where I'm going to that. Hopefully in the next week I'll have some data to talk about body composition, and I think that'll tell a very different picture to what my strength scores have looked like. But we'll wait and see what the data says, and hopefully you find this interesting and useful.